what's going on. So this is going to be a walking video and I'm not sure what I'm going to name it, but it's going to be about slavery. And slavery is still here today, and probably throughout the history of time, to some extent, people living indigenous cultures and maybe Native Americans and times before there were big civilizations, maybe those people weren't in slavery. But we're going to talk about slaves today and what I think about them. And it's a big topic, but I'm going to try to squeeze it in. This might be a part 1 and part 2 because this really is big. I'm going somewhere. And it is a big walk, so I decided to do this, and it was on the urge of me. Now, I want you to understand something. Truly, I want you to understand something, because I know a lot of people don't either think like this or know about this or whatever, or see like this. They already have technology. They hide it from you. Technology is hidden from you. Why? For various reasons, but more than likely, so you don't know. That's why. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of technology out there. They don't want you to know about it. It's always been around. It's not, they have new things, but when they made the first iPhone, they already knew there was going to be an iPhone 11. There's probably going to be an iPhone 20. The same with the Xbox, same with the Game Boys. They already knew this. It's not like it's written in stars, whatever. What you need to understand about the technology is, though, they hide it from you, the beneficial things, or they don't let you use it. Now, where am I going with this? I'm about to tell you. They make you slaves, because any job, any activity. Now, I don't want you to go overboard, because everyone likes to think over ahead. I'm not thinking over ahead, and I'm not talking about the future. I'm talking about right now, though we could talk about the future. What I'm getting at is, you know, people break their backs doing things, activities, and jobs that are pretty much pointless. We have robots to do every accomplishment, everything that we would need to accomplish. We could create a robot for, which you don't understand. Big industries, which I'm not with industries at all, because industries, the Industrial Revolution, is what ruined everything. They took over everything. They have huge machines in these places. I don't even know about them, but I know they're in there. I've seen like how it's made. You ever go watch TV and see how it's made? I've just seen a glimpse of it. And you watch how these commercialized institutions, these industries, make things. Wow, they have a bunch of money. They already rule over you. They make you work for them, which is slavery. It is. And it's pointless products, usually the time. That's not beneficial to anybody's health. The only thing that's beneficial somewhat is the activity. And we're going to get into that too. You don't understand. All the work that you do, there's pretty much a robot that can do it. That they just want you to be a slave. That's why they don't implement certain things. They already have the technology to do whatever it needs done. That being said, of course, there's going to be some things where creative things, such as artists, musicians, drawings, whatever it is. Yes, there's going to be other things to do. Where I'm getting at is we are enslaved because they want you to work and to be busy all the time and distracted for the most part. Some people actually like what they do. That's nothing wrong. That's actually what I promote. But how long do you like doing it, and what is it that you're doing for the most part? Obviously, you should chase or go do whatever you want to do and not something else somebody made up, because pretty much everything nowadays is made up, whatever you do. And really look for the truth to something. No one, I'm going to get into that in a second. But what you need to understand is the hard work, the hard labor, picking up stones and construction, for example. We have robots that can almost pretty much instantly, simultaneously do it. They just don't want it. They just want you to be a slave and break your back. Me, personally, I don't want to do nothing for 8 hours, the same repetition. Maybe once in a while, once in a blue moon. I won't even want to fuck a girl for 8 hours. Maybe once in a blue moon. I would never do that all the time. I don't want to do anything for 8 hours. Nobody wants to do anything for 8 hours. I understand there's different variables that come in, but I'm talking for the majority. No one wants to work 40 fucking hours a week. The only exception is people that really want to do what they want to do. And yes, and then you can work as much as you would like. There's no need for us to be enslaved. We are slaves, I guarantee you. Whether you change your perspective or not, it's all a money game. The people who created the money are obviously on top. Do you think the people who are infinitely rich that control everything, which they might not control you in such a physical matter, or, you know what I mean, maybe mentally, whatever you want to say, but would you let that go by? And do you think the people that, the 1%, the elite, whoever you want to say, the people who own all the money, because obviously there's people that own everything, pretty much everything. What I'm saying is, these people, do you think they're busting their ass? Do you think they're doing anything? Probably not. They're probably living their best life. Meanwhile, they have you working for $10 an hour or something, $7.25, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what country you're in. These are just circumstances. The work's already done, and as you can see, it's all around. Someone's saying what's up to me. What's going on, dude? Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Someone just told me they love my Instagram. But anyways, where I'm getting at is, you know, we've been lied to about everything. Another thing which you need to understand is, what you really need to understand is, and I know this is going to be hard for you to comprehend, or for some people, and I can't tell you what it's like, but I can give you an image. And this is one of the only things that may be kind of distorted, but I never did it before, which is pretty much live in nature. Which, what does this mean? Why are you talking about this? It's simple, because most of us, before we lived in civilizations or houses, back when we were natives, or whatever you want to say, foreigners, or just lived in nature, more power to the nature, if you get what I'm talking about. You got to understand, our livelihood was meant to be alive. We were meant to be alive. And what does this mean? Well, it's exactly as it sounds. Every day we would, make our beds, make our house. We would go hunt our food. This was our job. We didn't have time for other things. You got to understand that. So what does this mean? This means we didn't do shit for other people necessarily. We did shit for our own tribe, our own whatever you want to call it. I'm not talking civilizations as in big things. I'm talking smaller communities and things like that. And as you see, most of our work day would be stuff that concerns us. It would be our food, our family, our culture, and probably at the end or the beginning, entertainment, some sex, and just very basic foods. We weren't going to the store. We weren't doing all this. See, now we have everything's already built. Everything's already here. It gets destroyed 1,000,000 times, so you can rebuild it. If you like building, that's fine. I have nothing against anyone, and I'm not being judgmental. I'm just telling you, you are enslaved to some degree. Now, I can talk about a lot of things, because like I said, this is a dynamic approach that I'm giving, but I want you to understand, technology is here. We can all live free, be creative, not really have to work. And when I talk about work, we don't have to bust our ass. You don't have to, there's nothing wrong with busting your ass, and that's all right, because some people want to bust their ass and some people need to bust their ass. But I'm just saying, it should be an option. It shouldn't be that you have to. And obviously some people don't have to. There's a lot of schemes. There's obviously the people that rule you don't do shit, because why would they? They only do what they want to do, what's fun to them. They don't necessarily work. And I don't understand. And people say you need to balance your work with play. That's a bunch of bullshit. Life is a play. Everything is play. Everyone's an actor. The people in the lawsuits and all suits are actors. They're not being who they truly are. In fact, they're so programmed with who they think they're going to be, like a lawyer or a judge or maybe a chef or even a prison guard or a police officer, especially. Take them clothes off of them. Who are they now? Who are they now? They're nobody, because they never were anybody. A lot of people, that's just like an ego thing. But you need to understand, these people, the police, I have nothing against police. They basically protect the elite in an off subdivision. It's like a secret Black Force, Black Ops, Call of Duty, they're protecting them, but they're not, you know, secretive. They're just out there, and they don't even know it either. But they protect the elite, a smaller division, like a real small division. It's not even the army necessarily. Army's for like foreign stuff and big civil disputes. The police are for the little people, and just to cause friction between people in reality or you know, the government. Good. And another thing is, now, you gotta understand, breaking your back, and when we talk about work, if you like to work what you want to do, and it's what you want to do, you can work as many hours as you want to. But let's be honest, no one likes to do anything that's repetitive and monotonous 8 hours, 5 times a week, probably for the rest of their life. That I knew this when I was very young, that I didn't want to do this, why I wanted a lot of money. Now, it all depends on what you want to do. If you're, you know, your job might not pay a lot of money, but or whatever it is that you get at money, but it's what you want to do, or it's what makes you feel right, and it's just enough for you, which you should always have just enough for you. You should never go overboard. There's nothing to go overboard about unless you're serving somebody or serving the community. But that's a little different when we come to slavery and things amongst that. Because I have nothing against working as many hours as you want or doing whatever you want, as long as it's beneficial and it's what you actually want to do. That's fine. To be forced to do something, though, is a little bit different. I'm not thinking outside the box, though it may seem like it. I'm always this way. It's just always natural to me because I know what feels right and doesn't. We aren't meant to feel depressed and have anxiety and be unhealthy. We're meant to be powerful, confident, and strong. Everybody. And life is meant to be pretty easy, though it's not, because everyone makes it a hellhole, especially the people who are in power, the community, the laws, the morals. There is no such thing as laws or morals when we get into it. Now I understand we did give up something for a civilization or connection or maybe technology, but you gotta understand they still make it harder on us. Now that we humans, as we already have the houses built, the food's pretty much already here, or gardened, maintained, you know, homestead, farmed, whatever you want, domesticated, shipped in, cross countries, oceans, whatever. Before, we'd go fish, we would go hunt, we would grow crops. This was our livelihood. They've taken all that away, fed us food, fed us what are we going to do for our livelihood, gave it to us, which is a bunch of repetitive bullshit that no one really likes to do. I'm talking the basics of jobs, the more general jobs, for the most part. And again, this is not everybody. This is just like a generalization. And here we go again. Now they give you bullshit to do. They give you more shit to do, and they distract you. While, you know, they make you sick, or just do shit you don't want to do that's not needed. People are so closed-minded, which is fine. I understand it's always going to be there. And people are always going to call you crazy and say things about you amongst those lines. But you got to understand is there's a lot more they don't tell you. Most people, I hate to say it, I don't want to call them dumb, but that's what they are, or you can call them sheep. They're just unintelligent. It has nothing to do with thinking out of the box. A lot of people, though, on the other side, don't know about it because they never were exposed to truth, or they just can't think like that. There is smarter people out in this world. It doesn't matter if you have to be a smarty pants, because some people get too smart and they don't have no fun. People get so strict, they don't have no fun. I'm not going to say there's a fine balance between work and play, because there's impossible. That would be impossible, because if you work 40 in today's world, if you would just work, let's say 40 hours, that's not to say, because when you take up so much more time when you work 40 hours. I already know. I've done it plenty of times, and I'm sure everyone else does. I'm sick of it. I've been sick of it. I was sick of it when I was 16. When I was 16, I knew a lot of stuff that other people didn't know. Now I know more, but economically, nothing has really changed. The only thing that's changed is they want making you sick and unhealthy and controlling you and putting you a slave is detrimental to your health, and it's what they do to everybody. I realize it's not about the money. It's actually about the food source, because they want to control your food source. That's how you control people, because that's their livelihood, and that goes with the homes, isolation, social distancing, they already make you wear clothes. Making you wear a mask is no different, but telling you lies about viruses is a lie too. Viruses aren't even real. They're just lying to you for your health. Honestly, you're just donating your health and your organs, your life and your energy, your life force to them. It actually is a really big war. You just don't see it. And it's not as real as it sounds. Life's not supposed to be serious. Life's supposed to be fun and a joke. We're not living like primitively, though there's nothing wrong with living primitively. It's actually, most people would probably be 100%, 1,000 times healthier. What you need to understand is they're lying to you and covering you up and making you do bullshit you don't want to do. I'm not really a fan of stores. I'm not really a fan of technology. It's not that I have nothing against them. It's just they don't really interest me. There's nothing to them. You know what I mean? I like nature. Anybody is going to like nature. It's kind of hard. It's almost impossible not to like nature. Though I know people do and things along those lines. Now, I just want you to know, don't be a slave and do what you really want to do. Because if you don't do what you really want to do, then it's never going to happen. You're never going to live your life. Don't be trapped and don't be a slave. That's where I'm getting at. I have a bunch of recommendations and a bunch of things. If we did have to work something you didn't want to do, 4 hours a day is plenty. You don't need to work 8 hours. No one wants to do anything for it. I've never in my life even thought about doing something just for an 8 hours. And what I was getting at, working 40 hours a week, let's just say you work from 7 to 3, an 8-hour shift or whatever. It's still fucking your day up because you have to get up before work. Then it's going to be on your mind that you have to go there. Now, there's nothing wrong with settings and modernization. There's nothing wrong with setting things and doing things, times. But this gives people anxiety, makes them weak. Then it's just control and things along those lines. But also, let's say you do work from 7 to 3 and it's something you don't want to do. We're just saying it's flat off the bat, it's something you don't want to do. Okay, so let's 7 to 3. Let's just say you woke up at 6. And let's just say this person's a family man. He has 2 kids and a wife and a house. Okay, he wakes up at 6. He's going to be distracted by his kids or his wife for at least 30 minutes. Maybe if he eats, he's going to have to eat for 15 to 30 minutes. And then he has to go to work at 7. So already this person that woke up at 6 is already in the hole. And then he has to drive to work, which takes 15 minutes. But that he didn't brush his teeth. He didn't attend maybe his garden. He didn't get to do anything. Then he goes straight to work. Then he's out there till 3. Then he comes home. He made money. That's about it. He made money. Let's just say he was, like I said, he didn't want to do, he was just making money to support his family. Now he has excess money because he has to work 40 hours a week. Now I'm just getting at this thing. You don't have to work 40 hours a week unless you want to or unless you need to, but we shouldn't have to. Definitely shouldn't have to. If we all worked 4 hours a week doing or 4 hours a day instead of 8 hours, everybody would have a job. There's no such thing as limited resources. They make the money. They control you. And it's just pretty much that simple. There's not really too much more. And they have hidden technology from you that they're never going to give, pretty much, until we get it or make it ourselves. But when we make it ourselves, they come after us. Now, here we go again. So let's say this person, 7 to 3, his morning's fucked. He didn't get to do anything all morning. 3 o'clock comes around. He has a wife to attend to, a house to attend to, probably bills to attend to, miscellaneous things to attend to, his own needs and wants to attend to, and his hunger. Well, I was actually going to say something else. Kids. I was going to say kids if I didn't say that. Now he has all these things to attend to, and he gets off at 3, which is 8 hours. It's going to take him 30 minutes to come home, especially if there's traffic. He gets home at 3:30. So he just basically lost 9 to 10 hours, and there's only 12 hours or 14 hours left in the day. He's probably going to sleep for at least 8 hours. So now we're left with 6 hours in the day to do whatever you want. 6 hours in the day, that doesn't sound like a lot. And you got to eat, shit, piss. I already said sleep, so obviously I can't say that. But he has kids, a wife. He has to make food or get food, go to the store. 6 hours. 6 hours goes by like that. So, and then he has to go to work and do all these things. And he does this for 5 days. So how would this ever be there could never be a balance between work and play. I don't agree with work because work is play. You just don't understand. If it's something you truly love to do, then go do it. That's the main message of the thing, and it's not to be a slave. Do not be a slave. Do not be a sheep. Please wake up. Don't be scared, because there is nothing to be scared. And don't be afraid of anything I told you, because I want to give you the truth, and I want you to be you, and I want you to find out for yourself and feel what works for you. Hey, if you don't have no ambitions, which is fine. If you don't have maybe no life goals, anything you want to do in particular, and you don't mind working 40 hours for something you don't really care about, that's fine. You know what I mean? Work it into your schedule. What do you want to do? And another thing is, the dollar per hour is worthless, because there's people who make thousands of dollars an hour. There's people who don't even make money in hours. They just make money. And the people who make money don't do nothing, but instead you have to do something for you to make money, to stay in a house usually you already paid for, but they tax you on it. Then you have bills. All this stuff's for free. They're just taxing you and making you pay. So you don't understand. If you don't agree, I agree. Like, if you don't know there's unlimited energy out there, then I can't. We're on different pages, because I know there's unlimited resources out there, but they tell you they're limited. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? So that you think they're limited, and then you have to pretty much compete. The whole economic system, for the most part, is almost a competition, especially between the poor people. The only reason some of us got money is because we did things, whatever it was. Maybe made an invention for them or something for the elite, and they gave us a bunch of money, because at the start of it, they were the richest ones. Although if we possessed some land and stood by it and fought for it or whatever, they probably gave it to us. Because we are going to get the shit hand, obviously. They're not going to give us a good hand. Why would they? They're just going to give us what we need. That's why they want to make you weak and docile and feed you fake food and give pesticides to make you stupid. So basically they can control you and domesticate you like they do with factory farming or domestication of animals. It's the same thing, because you are an animal. It feels like you're a little bit more free, because most of us aren't in the cage, aka jail. But we're not allowed to travel for free to some extent, because we can't go out of the country unless you sneak out, which that's bullshit too. You shouldn't have to pay money to really go anywhere that, without, if you aren't using their transportation or whatever, you should be able to make your own thing. And here we go. It's because you can't make your own car and drive it, because you have to drive their car. Why isn't there spaceships? Because spaceships already been here. They don't want you to drive a spaceship. They want you to drive their car, because they want you to use their stuff. You don't understand. They already have spaceships. There's been spaceships. It's been in all the Bibles. It's been in all the pictures. Spaceships don't go to outer space. They just float around. It's not what you think. They're just like, even teleportation, even things like that, to go that far, the sci-fi shit, which is real. The reason they call it sci-fi, because they don't want to call it real, because they want to call it sci-fi. Now, some sci-fi obviously isn't real, like Sharknado or something, but some of it, and in fact most of it, is real. The reason they call it sci-fi is because the government wouldn't let them, or the people in power wouldn't let them use it to say or do what they wanted to do. That's because you're not allowed to. It's because they killed Tesla, they killed Abraham Lincoln, they killed JFK, they killed Martin Luther King. They killed so many other people, or just shut them up. There's so many people, even people we haven't even heard about, activists in the Amazon forest. There's so many people. They lie to you all the time. So where I was getting at, now that we don't have to be slaves, which this would be the future thing, we wouldn't be doing all this bullshit. We'd be free. We'd be more artistic. We'd be more creative. There'd be more music. There'd be more spiritual people, which is just being alive, which a lot of people aren't, because they're forced to do things they don't want to do, which is slavery pretty much. So it all is your choice at the end of the day. Slavery is your choice. Live your life you want to and do things you want to do. Don't chase something that's not going to be beneficial to you. I see people do it all the time. It's pretty much the hazard. But we also been lied to and set like, hey, we need to chase this and that. It's kind of like set up, especially when it comes to lust. It's either lust of money is what a lot of people will chase, or drugs. We all know this. Where I'm getting at is, at the end of the video, we're going to have more free time if we didn't bust our ass doing shit no one wants to do. No one really wants to work at a fast food restaurant. Come on. if we had to, it's not even good. That food's not good for you. Like, end of discussion. So why is anybody working there? Because it's a manipulation. They make money, so they enslave people for their stuff. And then they treat the animals like shit too. So it's just like bad karma and negative energy all around. It's all about money. And there's a bunch of other things we could get into, but I'm gonna leave it at that for the most part. Some other things would be, going to the store and getting food is different from going out in nature and getting your food. Then you'll see what the real food is out there. Then you have to go and get your food, which is, then you wouldn't be doing your job, because your job would be going to get food for the most part. Obviously, some days are going to be relatively easier than others. I don't believe life's supposed to be hard, though ironically it is kind of hard in some situations, but it's because they want it to make it hard, and they want it to be a living hell before you even are born onto this earth. Trust me, it's way before you're born onto this earth. They have it predetermined. All this stuff that's already put into play. The buildings are already here. The bridges are already here. Yeah, they might need some maintenance, but if you gotta understand, people would volunteer to do that work because they have so much free time. And what do you mean free time? Bored. I'm bored. I'm never bored. I don't even understand. If you have energy, I don't understand. Sorry, I'm walking under a tunnel. If you have energy, how could you ever be bored? I mean, if you've done everything in the world, then maybe, but you're not probably going to live that long to do everything in the world. There's just too much shit to do. People are bored because they're always distracted. Usually work is pretty much a mechanism for slavery to distract you, for the most part. Because when a family that has kids and has to do shit all the time, they don't have time to do anything they even necessarily want to do. That's your choice too, to have kids and things among those lines. Families, where you want to stay. Overall, we could all be living, there is a future there. It's right here. We can live in a different world where people talk to each other, communicate, healthy, we're spiritual, we're alive, we have connection. We don't have to do bullshit work that no one wants to do. And if we do want to do work, we can volunteer or go do work that we like to do. What I don't even like the word work. I do not like the word work. I just do not like, it's a derogative term to me. Don't like saying that. I'd rather say play. And people would be free to go do what they want. We would socialize more. We'd have more connection, more festivals. Doesn't that sound good? The promised land, pretty much. But they're promising you bullshit, because it is bullshit. Because that's why no one gets along, and it's all lies, and it's criticism, which there's nothing wrong with criticism, but that's why everyone hates each other for the most part, which hate and love, same thing pretty much. But, everyone's suspicious of one another, because the whole economy is to beat the fuck out of each other in a non-physical matter. Because if this was a physical game, the physical people, which, the people who fucking would go and run shit like physically in a physical manner, they would never let that happen, because then there wouldn't be all these morals and necessarily religions for the most part. More so economic control. There'd be more equity. There wouldn't be, because they control you with money. They don't control you physically. Yeah, you can go shoot a gun, but when you kill this person, everyone's going to be after you and you're going to have to run. You can't just go fight someone either. It's not like that. If you want me to paint a bigger picture out there, everything I said, just know our future can be drastically different in ways that you couldn't even imagine. But that's what God gave us, an imagination. And it's very real. And we can imagine these things. We can create these things in equity. No one needs all these big houses that no one's ever fucking in, and a bunch of cars that you can't even drive all at one time. It just sounds so absurd. Don't take more than you need. Take as much as you need and then leave it and give the rest. This is when you get into greed, because it's all a power game. That's why they control you economically, more so mentally than they control you physically, because you're a wild animal in natural instincts. If someone's trying to dominate you or control you, you would fight back, but then you resist against yourself. And a lot of people resist against themselves because You can, and it can be a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing going against your natural instincts. Also, what I was going to end it with, the circuses, Rome, I'm sure you heard about Rome and the Colosseums. The Rome Colosseums are still here. It's the same thing, the same slavery, but I guarantee you, there was more freedom back then. More access to things, easily to travel, more healthy people. I bet there was lies and propaganda and shit like that too. Most wars are just built on greed usually. Unless they're like a mini war or something. Gigantic wars are all corrupt, all lies, propaganda, as they always are. Wars between people are never fought between the people who want to fight. They're usually a setup, and obviously the people who created the wars, the leaders, the people in charge, they're not in the war. They have people warring for them. They have soldiers, they have grunts, they have snipers. They do it. It's all bullshit anyway. Like I was saying though, the whole Colosseum thing, they're still around today. All the Colosseums are still around today. They're not built like how they were or how things used to run because they just want to do technological things, which to some extent are bullshit. But what I'm really getting at is they've always been here. They've never not gone. They make it seem like they're distant, and that's all right to feel stuff as new and be excited about things and thrive. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know, everything I'm saying is not necessarily new. Nothing is new because it's always been here. And this is where I was getting at about the slavery, but more so about the suppression of technology, because they don't want you to have it, because they want to distract you and pretty much make you work all the time so you be a slave doing a pointless job. It's not natural to sit at a desk for a long time. There's a lot of jobs that aren't natural. It's not natural to stand at a fucking desk for a long time or a register. It's not natural. And to repeatedly do it for 40 hours a week and keep on doing it is not natural at all. If you like it or whatever, that's fine. And if it feels good for you, that's fine. I have nothing against that. I'm speaking for the most, but mostly I'm speaking my mind. You know, I'm not going to be mad at anyone. And of course, my things are going to change. Everything's subject to change. Everything I do. And even to say, none of my opinions are final. But this, I deeply agree with. Obviously, it's just coming from me. And I do believe we can create a utopia, a Garden of Eve. Though, whatever it is. Just look at everybody's yard. They're not even homesteading. They have fucking green grass everywhere. They're not growing shit. They're not, they don't have chickens. They don't care about butter. They don't care about whatever plant matter. They've never even been told to, nor do they care. They're just ignorant, pretty much. Or unless they haven't been taught. But everyone has these yards. There's so much grass and stuff around where animals could roam. Not to mention we destroyed a lot of their environment too. That's all I'm saying today. I said too much. Just know everything I say is subject to change, but for the most part, this is real stuff, and it's not imaginary. It's not some bullshit that I'm just spewing out. It's not even some shit I'm just made up. It's the truth. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Have a nice day. And I appreciate every one of my, whoever listens to me, whether you want to call it fans or followers, whoever subbed to my channel, whoever sees this video. And I hope you have the best day, the best life. Life, it's not what you think it is, but it can be whatever you want it to be. And it happens relatively fast. But just take it slow. Take in the air. Use your energy, your finite energy, to where you want to use it. Make the impact that you want to make. Because no one's ever going to feel the same about something, about how you do. That's what makes you unique. Though we will probably agree on things and like that, but just know you have a special characteristic about yourself which makes you unique. Thanks for tuning in. Even especially watching this video. If you watch this video, give yourself a pat on the back, because this was a longer video, but I'm almost there. I got like 20 more minutes to walk, and then I got about an hour and a half to walk back. So that was it. Have a nice one. I really appreciate it too. I do want to talk a little more, but I meant not about this, just about how I appreciate everybody. subscribers, even the view, even if you're first time viewer, last time viewer. Because I know people don't like the longer videos, but this was a good one. This was one of my favorite ones yet, to be honest. See you guys.